Welcome back into the Tide Talk podcast on the Believe Podcast Network. I'm your host, Stacey Blackwood, back with another edition of Tide Talk in 10. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at the current running back room situation there in Tuscaloosa. But before we do that, make sure you head on over to betonline.ag. Whether it's the NBA, the NFL, college basketball, or college football, betonline.ag is the place to go to make your online sports bets. So head on over there today, sign up, use promo code BELIEVE50, and you will receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag. All right. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like, and share. If you're listening to us on podcast form, subscribe on Apple Podcast, leave us a review, follow us on Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, just wherever you find great podcasts. Make sure you're plugged in and subscribed to us there. And if you're watching on YouTube, jump in the comment section right now and answer today's question. Who would you like to see the coaching staff move to running back in case of emergency? The staff has already moved Demoy Candy from linebacker to running back and wide receiver Christian Leary to running back. So they've made a couple moves, but that was before the injury to Roydell Williams. So the question is who else would you like to see move to that role? Jump in the comment section right now and answer that question. A guy that's gotten a lot of talk is freshman quarterback, Jalen Milroe. Of course, we've all seen how athletic Jalen Milroe is with the ball in his hands. The coaching staff talks about how he's one of the most athletic kids on the team. So from that standpoint, it makes sense. But from a developmental standpoint, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to kind of take away Milroe from his quarterback learning that he needs to be doing as a freshman here in Tuscaloosa. So I say for now, do not move Jalen Milroe. I think we're okay with Demoy Candy and Christian Leary for the moment. And there's also plenty of other players on this roster that are athletic enough and capable of running the football if the emergency arose where they were needed. But we still have Brian Robinson Jr. and Trey Sanders, who are both really good backs. Trey Sanders played fantastic against New Mexico State in mop-up duty. Of course, Brian Robinson Jr. had the longest run of his career against New Mexico State of 63 yards. So we have two talented backs still that are healthy, and then you still factor in Demoy Candy and Christian Leary. And Christian Leary really surprised me against New Mexico State. He is a guy who's explosive. Maybe not the biggest guy in the world, but he is a guy who's capable of making a big play, out of the backfield. It's just going to be about, the other aspects of being a running back, blitz pickup, and catching the ball out of the backfield, which is something I'm sure Christian Leary could do really well. But Demoy Candy is another guy who looked pretty solid there at the running back position as well. But he's not going to be that explosive back that Christian Leary is. So I'm still excited about the four guys that are there right now. I know Coach Saban mentioned earlier this week that they're going to be looking at another emergency option at running back. So it's going to be interesting to see who the staff picks to fill that role. Like I said, jump in the comments and answer that question of who you think the coaching staff should choose to kind of fill that emergency role. Really excited to see the game this weekend against Arkansas. We're going to be back later this week to give our full preview of the Arkansas matchup. So make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss any of that. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. Really appreciate everybody watching. Roll Tide.